Welcome everybody to the Bird Speak podcast. This is Bird Speak. If you're new to the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. And sorry about yesterday. I had this video up and I took it down because I really didn't like how I sounded. I sound like I was confused and not really sure of myself. So I had to take that dang video down. But I'm more prepared and I actually went through the stuff that I needed to go through. So now I'm ready to actually get this thing started. So you saw what the topic is, so let's get into it. First thing we're going to talk about educated black women versus Jason Black. Yes, we're going to talk about this. So Jason Black on his business channel, he talked about black women getting out of corporate America. And he really harped on the education piece on black women and how he was feeling that they're not making the money to justify going to college and getting this education. Now, so I was looking at, so I found it fascinating because what inspired me to do this really was the live stream that the Faith Factor did. And shouts out to the Faith Factor. She was talking about black women getting your education and stop worrying about these black men, these old black men. Because it really was kind of like targeting these older black men who's telling these young girls to get with older black men, forego your education, and doing for yourself, get it under a man because you can't do it by yourself. So I thought the idea was fascinating. So I went and looked at the podcast. I went to find it, and I listened to what he Jason Black was saying, and yeah, he was going in on black women in business in the workforce, but he really specific about the educated black women. So I'm gonna go over some of the things he was talking about, and some things that I do agree with, some things I don't. But I'm gonna go into it. And the first thing that I saw, he was talking about the rise. It was from an article about the rise of women of color businesses account for 50% of all women businesses. 6.4 million businesses, but they only employ 2.4 million people, generating $422.5 billion in revenue. Now, what that means is 4 million of these businesses don't have workers. They don't have people working for them. They're just businesses. Now, Jason Black was kind of harping on that because that's not really a business. But no, no, no. The actual term for business is selling goods and services. So you don't have to have somebody working under you for it to be a business. All you have to do is be selling goods and services, and you're a business. As I say, sole proprietors. Now, what they said the average revenue of of these businesses is $66,000 a year. So, well, average of all these businesses is 66,000, not a year, but the average. So, and and that was back in I want to say 2019. Now it's kind of went down to 65,000. So, so let's continue. Let's go into half of the businesses focus on three areas that don't produce the most revenue, which is hair, nails, pet care, hair care, hair and nails and pet care was 22%. Healthcare, social assistance, which is child daycare, home health care, was 15%. Lawyers, bookkeepers, architects, public relations, and consultants with 13%. So that's where a lot of the women were focusing their businesses on. So you can imagine you going to school, getting an education, and you end up getting into these areas. But the thing they said that it didn't produce the most revenue. The ones that produced the most revenue was wholesale trade and retail trade, which only 17% of the women businesses go into that one, 10% into the retail trade. So what did it say they did? So what Jason Black was saying that the hair, nails, and pet care is something that pampering, something you would do as a mother, taking care of children, and then the healthcare, social assistance, child daycare, home health care. That's the stuff you duties you would have as a mother and a wife. So he's like, okay, you went on to school, you went and got this job just to do the same thing that you would be doing as a wife, as a mother. Listen, this is not me saying it. This is what he said. Now, when it gets real interesting, I'm just looking at my notes here. Apologize. Was the wage gap. Now, they were talking about the wage gap between white males and women, and this is all women. Per $1 a male, white male gets, Asian women got 87 cents. White women, which I thought they would be higher than the Asian women, but how did that work out? I don't know. White women were getting 78 cents. Black women was in the middle, got 63 cents. And only followed behind American Indians, 60 cents, and Hispanics, 55 cents. So they're getting, they're not getting the same amount as a white male. The only thing I had against this one specifically, I wish it would have went into what a black male gets, what how much they're getting towards a white male. I wish he would have got into that. So, but I will explain that a little bit later. So I'm just going over this stuff. Now, the other thing was equal education towards the white counterpart, male counterpart for black women. Now, this was where there was a lot of debate, and the Faith Factor actually called into the show to kind of dispute this. But here it goes. With equal education, if a white male either dropped out or didn't complete high school, the black woman made 76 cents compared to his dollar. Now, high school diploma, you got 68 cents. Some college is 66 cents. College graduate was 65, and advanced degree is 69 cents. Now, what Jason Black was saying is that you're doing all that education, and to get back, even, and it never goes back to the part where the high school diploma, not having a high school diploma, they're still getting 76 cents. So they're getting more compared to the white men not having any type of degree or even a high school education, as opposed to advanced degree, which they only getting 69 cents. They're getting more, not even going to high school, not even graduate high school, which was very weird. And the only way they're gonna get not even not even to that point was get the advanced degree. So you're getting PhD, being MBA, but you got to go into a lot of, you got to rack up a lot of college debts. You got to get loans, grants, scholarships, and most people are not going to get a lot of scholarship for that. They're going to get loans. So they're getting a lot of debt. That's what he was talking about there. So let me go. And so he was going into the black women in the labor force, and he was saying that the participation rate of all black women, all women, for black women in particular, it was 60.8% before the pandemic and 58.8% during and after the pandemic. And that's only with the black women that don't have children or anything. Let's see. Oops. Hey, D Real, how you doing, man? Yeah, I had to do this show again because I sounded kind of bad on the last one. I had to take that one down because I was kind of fumbling, but I'm more prepared this time. So we're looking at the participation rate. It was for the women that were childless is 60.8% before the pandemic and 58.8 during the pandemic and after the pandemic. So now when it becomes to a black mother, it goes up to 76%. And I think the closest one to them is the white one, which is at 71%. So, and then on top of that, black women had the highest unemployment rate of all women. Their unemployment rate was 5.6% before the pandemic, and then 10.9 during the pandemic and afterwards. So they had the highest participation rate in the workforce, but they're not getting the all the benefits. Now, this is according to Jason Black. This is not Brother Speaks words. This is his words, and that what he looked up. The other thing that I found interesting, like the highest bachelor degrees participation is psychology, social sciences, and education, which has the lowest earning income. It's usually between 48,000 a year. And the highest participation in graduate degrees of business majors and education, which the median income is between 50 and 60,000. So you're going into all this college and going for the graduate degree, you still racking up all this debt, but at the end, at best, you're going to make 50, 60K. Let me see. Overworked and unemployed. Overworked and underpaid. Yeah. Yeah. And going by this, I'm like, whoa, that's kind of fucked up. That they getting all this education, but they have the highest participation, but they're not getting the most pay. They they've been touted as the most educated of the women, but they're not getting the pay to match it. So, and he also talked about the whole thing about even with all that, they're getting all this debt. They're not having retirement plans. Even if you get into a career that has a retirement plan, it's not going to last you once you retire because most people's when they retire, they only last 15, 20 years. So the number that was brought out, he got from another person, was that you need at least $1 million, but that was back in 2014. Now you need $2 million in order to last the length of your life past retirement. And as people are starting to live a little bit longer, you're not really having that lot of money. So a lot of people have to go back to work. That's why I tell them they need to be more interested. No, has been developing over the years. Yeah. So that's what it is. It's like, so Jason's Black's point of all this was that these black women are going for all this education and going to get these degrees, but they're not going into the degrees that's going to make them the most money. They're going into they're getting businesses which are not essential jobs like hair care, hair, nails, pet care are not essential workers. So during the pandemic, a lot of that was shut down. So you kind of out of work. Whereas healthcare is essential worker. You could do the CNA, but a lot of them are not into that. It's like 15%. So you're looking at you're not they're not focusing on essential work. They're getting into they're not getting into something that's going to pay them long term a good amount of money. They're not making the type of money that they should be making. They're making way less than the white men doing the same stuff. And even if they match education to education, they're still not making the amount of money. So that's was Jason's black point of it. Is that so he was saying it'd be better for black women to sorry, it'd be better for them to find a competent black man to settle down with and build with him. Because again, it's going to be hard out here and it's getting harder. And really, it's harder for everybody. It's going to be hard. If you don't have a career that has retirement and you're not actively trying to build your own retirement, yeah, you're kind of going to be fucked. Especially when, a lot of these jobs are going away at the dinosaur. Yeah, you kind of, especially if you're talking about retail, yeah, you're kind of in a bind. And with the push of a lot of these black women getting out of corporate, even if Jason Black is saying, well, a lot of them ain't in corporate anyway. Like I said, they in hair, nails, pet care, health care, social assistance. None of that screams corporate jobs. So it's kind of like you're not in the fields that make the most money. You're not getting paid like you should. You're working all these extra. You have the most participation. It means you're the ones. You're becoming like the mules of the corporate world and the business world, but you're not getting anything to show for it. You're doing jobs which you probably would be doing if you were married. So it's kind of like you're kind of stuck. Uh, so that's Jason Black's view on it. My view on it is I see some of the merits, but there's some things I would have liked to seen him talk about was really the comparison between black men making what black men are making and black women are making. Because he's going by what white men are making. But I would like to know like what the black man is making. So we can make a comparison. So see if this really would be the best option for the women. Because if I can see that, and you're not showing me the black male version of it, what they're making, then how are you going to convince some of these women that it'd be better to be working with a man, a competent black man, if you're not showing how much they're making compared to each other? Now, I know that I do know that black men are making more money than black women as a collective. Um, I look at the labor wages, and I was looking at that from another website. But it would have been nice if Jason Black had put that here so to really show the comparison. But as it stands right now, my only opinion on this is that, yeah, it's a lot of agenda going on, and it seems like there's a lot of vitriol that he has towards educated black women and black women in the workforce. That's what it seemed like it, because if you listen to the podcast and you listen to how he treated some of the callers that were kind of against that idea, yeah, he was thinking they're idiots and morons and just roasting them. Which, while it was funny, it doesn't really lend towards having a conversation and then trying to teach. It's more or less do as I say. If you don't, you fucked. And your way is wrong. And you's an idiot. You up there banging Pookie and Ray Ray and Junebug. I'm like, whoa, 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 Jason Black. Have you been listening to the Black Manosphere over here? Well, but I'll I'll be fair to the Black Manosphere. Jason Black been kind of saying stuff like this since I've listened to him. Now I haven't listened to him for it'd be a good 4 or 5 years, maybe, maybe a little bit, a good 4 or 5 years. But even back then, he was saying stuff like this: that black women should be getting with black men, competent black men. Stop dealing with these Pookies and Ray Rays and June bugs and all that. So he been saying this. They would say, well, Jason Black, he's going after the black women because it's popular. No, he been doing that. That's been his kind of MO. So this ain't new. But just to go into this education, I thought it was fascinating to see that he's just really roasting their education. My only thing is, I think it's still a personal choice for black women. I mean, you look at these numbers, you look at the stats that he has, and you can go if you want to look at his podcast, and he tells you what what websites, what articles he got, and you can go look at the numbers for yourself and make the decision. It's still a decision of the black woman at the end of the day. If you feel that it's best for you to go at it alone, I mean, that's your choice. I'm not saying yeah and nay of that. Now, I see the merit of what he's saying is that, yeah, it'd be better if you're under a productive black man. Because at the very least, even if he's making less, you still know he's going to be productive and he's still going to help you. So you can build together. So you get to the point where you don't have to be working and you can sit at home and chill and take care of the kids and, I guess, rest in your femininity. But it's kind of hard to rest in your femininity if you got a man who's not being what he need to be. If you're dating bums, you're being with a dude who's not a leader. You're going after dudes who are supposedly partners and companions. Partners and companions don't mean leader. A husband is supposed to be your leader. He's the leader, he's the captain of the ship. Because when shit goes south, yeah, he is going to be the one who is supposed to take the reins. But if you're talking about going with a partner or a companion, that's not a leader. That's not someone who's the leader. And then on top of that, because I remember hearing women, a lot of women said this, they felt sorry for this guy. If you feel sorry for a man, you think that you're better than him. And if you think that you're better than him, that's not going to make a very functioning relationship for very long. because you're not going to listen to what he said. You're not going to take it seriously. So to go back to the education part, if you're thinking that you're more educated than the man, that means you're more smarter than him. That also is going to lend to you're not going to respect him. You're not going to respect his decision making. So ultimately, your relationship is going to falter. And considering that, if you look at these numbers, whether they're trumped up or not, it don't look really good for you getting that education. Now, I will say that it really does depend on what you're going for, and if you use that education properly, aka you use it to build connections so that it can help you advance in your career, I mean, then yeah, it might be worth it. But if you're just going over there to, especially if you're talking about psychology, social sciences, and education, which is not getting you that big amount of money, you get a lot of this college debt. You're getting 40, 50,000 in debt, and you're only making 40, 50,000. Yeah, good luck with that. And if you think like the student loan forgiveness, now here's the thing with that one. Yeah, you can get on it, but you only can make one payment per month. Now you have to make the minimum, and the minimum is really dependent on your income, but it's only one payment per month. And you can't make, if you make more than that, that doesn't count. You have to make what is the minimum. Now you may put more into it, but still only gonna count as one payment per month. That's it. So if let's just say you got 120 payments, that's 10 years. So you got 10 years of paying a specific amount. Then it becomes forgiven, but don't lose your job or nothing like that. Then it doesn't count. And if you don't have the certain, and then it's certain jobs in particular. So if you working at Popeyes, going to the student debt, that won't count. So you're going into this relationship now. You kind of stuck paying this payment for the longest time, and again, it depends on your income. Let's just say, like me right now, I'm making five figures, so the payment I have to pay is like 130. So I got to be paying that for another 10 years. Now, luckily, thanks to this pandemic, some of these payments are going to count. So now, instead of having maybe 120, I might have to do like 70 something, depending on how this turns out. So instead of it's knocked down from 10 years to maybe 5, 6 years. But still, you stuck paying that payment over and over again. And you can't pay extra. You can only pay that amount. And then you got to reapply every year. And again, God forbid, don't lose your job because you kind of fucked. So it is something to think about when you weighing it. I know that like Faith was talking about that Jason Black is kind of trying to get these women to date older men. They get married younger, and I'm if we had a culture, and I'm talking about black people, if we had a culture where the men and the women really analyzed the mates of their children, I would be fine with that. Hell, I would be even fine with older men dating younger women, marrying younger women, if the family is involved. Other cultures do that. However, We don't have that type of culture. It's a free for all right now. It's pretty much, I mean, instead of having responsible older men maybe teaching these young girls and treating them with respect and all kinds of stuff, you got the Mike Brooks out there up there marrying their goddamn goddaughters and then allegedly giving them a package they can't get rid of. That's what you have out there. You have the R. Kellys out there in the world. You have the Glenn Camerons, and I'm gonna talk more about that motherfucker in a minute. You got these guys out here preying on these girls. And these girls are coming from fucked up homes, so they're seeking daddy figures or trying to get out of well, however it means they're gonna do this. So they're hooking up. And it is not ending well. So to kind of push that, I'm more or less I'm definitely against that because we don't have the culture for it. It's all over the place. And until we get, in particular black men, get our economic in order, having more economic power, yeah, I'm staying away from that shit. But as far as black women education, that is going to be a personal choice. You can look up all the information that Jason Black he gives you the websites, the articles. You can go look that up, and ultimately it is going to be your choice. If you feel that you can do it without a man, you'll wait till later to get a man. I mean that's ultimately your choice, but there's consequences to everything you do. My thing is, as long as you accept the consequences that come with it, hey, it is what it is. And another thing he kind of mentioned about old women giving younger women bad advice, I do tend to agree with that because you got a lot of bitter old women around here trying to steer these young girls away from men and teaching them how to scam them, and it's not working. For some ways it works out, then other ways it don't work out, and so now these women are even more lost, and so now they run into Kevin Samuels, who is advocating for men to be with men. Imagine that. Or they run into guys like the Honest Truth. Or they run into guys like even this gay dude named Eddie. I'm like, wait a second, you run into a gay dude for advice on dating? Like, So it's like it's kind of hard for women to get any type of education on how to deal with men because the examples of men around here seem like they either hate them or they're trying to pander them to get something from them, or they're just scared and they're a competition for men. Weird, but this is what we got out here. And I'm like, good luck to you, women. Good luck to you. I don't know what to tell you. It's 2021 going forward. Holy shit, you really gotta be careful. I mean, whatever you plan to do, you gotta have a plan out here because, like I said, it's not good for a lot of people out here. And retirements, if you're not really taking care of it and getting on top of it early, yeah, you're gonna probably gonna be ass out. Not trying to scare, but just friendly warning, And I don't want to see my women out here because I remember my mother. My mother didn't have no retirement. She was um banking on Social Security. And the thing about Social Security, it didn't really cover a lot of what she needed. And on top of that, she had a lot of debt. She had student loan debt from me. She had credit card debt. She had payday loans. So she couldn't really cover the rent and pay for the utilities. So I ended up having to step in. And I have my own debt. So it's kind of like you kind of have to be plan for the future, because if you don't, you're going to put more stresses on your children. And if the children are not ready to take care of you, it's just going to be one big mess. So, whatever women want to do, please be careful. Vet, and make sure you have a plan in what you want to do with your life. Whether you're going the education route, whether you're going the get with competent black men, understand what you need to do to get wherever you need to go, and be vigilant on it. So that's all I had to say about that. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is doxing YouTubers. Now, very recently, we had a situation where the honest truth got doxed by Nyla and Taz. Apparently, his old Manosphere stuff came out, and then on top of that, his his Facebook page and his place of business was also leaked. Um, Apparently, another YouTuber where he did business with was Bossy Empress TV. She gave Nyla and Taz his phone number, and so using the phone number, they found out where he worked and his Facebook page, and so they found out his place of business, and I believe they started calling, and they put that information out there, which I found that's foul and tacky, especially of that girl for giving that personal phone number. You had no business giving these people his phone number, because you don't know what could have happened. They could have went and found his address and sent some people after him, or went after them themselves. That's not cool in any situation. I don't care. I don't care if you didn't like the fact he said something about black women. I mean, hey, it is what it is. But you don't do shit like that. Especially he coming to you doing business. He didn't try to hit on you. He didn't try to do nothing like that. He's doing business with you. And then because you don't like what he fucking said, you're gonna give him this man's phone number? That's fucked up. It's not like he killed anybody, he hurt anybody. Oh, he just said some fucked up, some nasty things about black women. Whoop de freaking do. I don't see y'all going after rappers or anything like that. I don't see y'all going after the actual media who makes y'all look bad. But no, on the truth, he said some things back in the manosphere. Now, I'm just gonna give him my phone number. Give him the phone number. Okay, I hope that don't happen to you, sis. Because if that does happen and shit happen and you come up here crying on YouTube, I'm not about to hear that. I say, well, it's good for you. But I said to say all that to talk about. So what is doxing? Because people kind of get confused. So let me be the educator in this situation. So doxing is the act of revealing personal info without one's consent. What typically information given is home address, workplace details, personal phone numbers, social security numbers, financial info, private conversations, criminal history, personal photos, embarrassing personal details. Now, why do people dox? Now, in the case of Nyla and Taz, why they dox the honest truth? Because they felt they were insulted by the honest truth. Because when they wanted to have a conversation with him. Well, Taz, the honest truth, blew him off. When he was trying to question him about his management past, he blew him off. And then, he said some things about worrying about Nyla's safety. So that didn't help. so, so they went after him, especially when Honest Truth fumbled the ball, interviewing Space Ghost Perk. They made him a target, and it made him an easy target. So you attacked and assaulted by the target. Controversial opinions. Now, it's not that he had any controversial opinions. I mean, they were controversial towards black men, but it wasn't really anything they would punish them with. But usually, people doxing, you do have controversial or polarizing opinions, and you get people mad enough, yeah, they're gonna try to dox you, find out what you about. To punish, intimidate, or humiliate, which in this case with the Honest Truth, they tried to use his past as the manosphere to punish him, humiliate him, and bringing up his job, which is a insurance salesman, to humiliate him, like he ain't got this money, even though that didn't kind of work because he's been saying that he's not where he needs to be, but he getting there. So it's kind of like they're trying to make him look like he's less than what he is, which considering the people who did it, yeah, kind of fucking y'all. It's kind of like that whole you ain't got clean hands to be talking about anybody. So violate privacy. We all want to keep our private lives private, but people want to violate that because they hate people. They have they don't like their opinion. They don't know how to challenge it, or simply competition. I think a lot of this thing with between Honest Truth and Nile Test is competition because they do share the same fan base. Yeah, they do. And Nyla is starting to get into the whole divester movement along with Cynthia G. And so the Honest Truth was getting into that money. A lot of the women who were Nyla Taz, they went over to the Honest Truth because, again, he's a decent looking, good, light skinned, dressed. Women like that. And he's talking shit about the Black Manosphere, Campus Samuels. And he's telling them, oh, go with white men. The Divestors sure loved it that. So that was competition. So the methods, how do people dox? Well, tracking usernames, stalking social media, going through government records, tracking ID addresses, reverse mobile phone lookup, which I probably think that's what Taz and Nyla did, because once that girl gave them the Honest Truth's phone number, that's probably what they use. They use White Page, which is an app that you can look up people's phone numbers. So examples of that: releasing private, personally identifying info online, using real name, addresses, place of business, unknown info, same thing, or releasing info that can damage reputation, like you putting out people's criminal record, like what happened with Simple to P, what happened to Ramil Lamir, happened to Taz too. People putting out their criminal records, and it can be embarrassing, especially like when Simple to P, he got caught messing with a 14-year-old. Now he did explain it, and Ramir, same thing. He was dealing with an underage girl. Now he explained it that she had lied, so he got out of that one, but he did do some time. Now he doesn't advocate for that. He don't advocate for pimping at all. So Is it illegal? Is doxing YouTubers illegal? The answer is usually no. If it's a public domain, if people find out your pictures and stuff like that, and they look up and they find your information like an Instagram, then no, that is not illegal. That happened to Thai City. When Rudep and Thai City was feuding, Rudep used some of the pictures and found out this man's Instagram page and started clowning him. Yes, that's doxing. But because that's Instagram, is public information, it's right there, that's not illegal. Now, here's where it can get illegal if it's associated with laws fighting with stalking, harassment, and threats. And that really does depend on the state that you're in. Because if you doxing can be considered if you're getting the wrong information, you're putting out information that really is private and you ain't supposed to have, yeah, that's considered stalking. That can be illegal. If you do that to a federal employee, now that's a federal crime. So you really got to be careful. If you're trying to dox somebody, you better know who you're dealing with. Because you dox the wrong person, oh yeah, you're going to jail. Or at the very least, you're going to get sued. Or you could be charged with stalking, cyber stalking, which is a crime, harassment, that's a crime. You can get a restraining order. Or if you do threats or somebody do threats on your behalf after you dox somebody, yeah, you can be charged. Now it can get you banned from websites. You're doing something, and no website want to be known as allowing hackers to dox people because people trust their personal information to these websites. Like the thing that happened with Ashley Madison, all these dudes and women cheating, trying to keep it on the low low. And these hackers who felt some type of way was trying to blackmail Ashley Madison, owners of Ashley Madison, to do what they want them to do. And they were like, fuck you, we ain't doing that. So they released all the information. So a lot of people had a lot to explain to her. No website wants to go through that because then they can get sued. So yeah, that's why they will ban people from doing stuff like that. So how do you protect yourself? So the main thing you have to do is make sure you don't release any personal information. Make sure that if you keep your personal and if you're on YouTube in particular, like my name, bro, speak on here. You're not going to hear my actual name. Okay, that's private. And there's some people on YouTube that know my actual name, but I'm not making that public to everybody. Okay. Not that I'm really ashamed of it. You ain't gonna really find anything. I'm not no criminal or nothing. But I kind of like to keep my personal and my life here separate, except for certain situations. Like I'm doing business with D Durrell now. Uh, but that was something that's personal. And I trust that he's not going to put that information out in the public. So that's why. But the main thing is, don't put out information you don't want out. Uh, Cover your tracks as far as don't have. If you have old websites that you don't look to, no old profiles that you had, you might want to shut them down. You can also Google. Here's a trick: Google your actual name, and see if there's anything pertaining to you out there. Uh, I did that just a few minutes ago, and yeah, my name comes up, but it's all different people. It's not me. So I'm pretty good on that. Now I had an incident years ago where one day I did put my name up, and then I saw on this website that my ex had put some information out there about me, about our relationship. So I went and talked to her. She gave me the website, the information. So I went up there. I said, "Hey, yeah, I need to get this taken down. This is some bullshit." So they went and did it. Didn't cost me anything. So now I look at it. There's nothing there. So you gotta really be careful, especially if you coming on here and you're doing as a YouTuber. You're doing stuff. You have really polarizing opinions about the thing. Especially you're talking about black women, black men, race, political views. You really got to be careful with stuff like this because there are people you could be talking a lot of sense and they can't really dispute what you're saying. So they'll go that doxing route. They'll just dox you, you know, want to embarrass you and stuff like that. Instead of debating you on the topic and countering you with facts and stuff like that. No, they just rather go the short route and just dox you because they don't like what you said, or you're just competition. You're a better YouTuber than them. So they figure, well, I can't beat them because they're a better YouTuber than me. I'll just go ahead, dox them, find out the information, and try to ruin the image. Which it to me is punk shit. And if you're doing stuff like that and you help people do that, you just foul people. And if you feel that this is a good thing, I hope nothing happens to you because you know that people who've been on YouTube have been attacked and killed because they're doing shit like this. They dox people, and then they find out who did it. They come see them, but it's not to talk. Trying to dox people, trying to expose people. People have been killed doing that. So if you are a doxer, I'd be very careful. Somebody might do something to you. And if you feel really that froggy about that, why don't you do that to people who really deserve it, like actual pedos, actual criminals? Why don't you call Crime Stoppers or something like that, since you really want to dox? But no, you're doxing YouTubers. You doxing people in this grand scheme of things don't really matter. Wow, take some real balls there, real cojones. But I get it. I get it. You're not really powerful in life. You really don't have nothing going on. All you have is this YouTube. That's all you got. So you have to protect that and destroy the competition. I get it. It's just weak to me, but that's me. I I just come on here and speak my truth to keep it pushing. I don't feel like destroying people's lives or nothing like that. I'll destroy your argument, but not your life. Because look, if you want to have a bum ass life, you just have a bum ass life. What I care. And you may have a good life. Well, I'm gonna destroy it for clicks or views. Y'all look at my subscriber count. It's not there. It's getting there, but it's a slow burn. So that's just what it is with doxing. So the other thing, I wanted to touch on this, and I'm gonna actually do a live stream about this. I remember there was a live stream panel, and one um, black woman by the name of Remy Noyes, like her opinions on things. Um, she asking how to pick a black male platform to support. Now I'm gonna go do a live stream about this, and I'll break it down. But the main things you really got to know is the first thing you have to know is what do you want from this black male platform to do for you? Are you looking for them to make you feel good? Are they looking for them to be informative? Are you looking for them to uplift you? What are you actually looking for that platform to do for you? Are you looking just for entertainment? What are you looking for? What is your end game for this platform for your life? So that'd be the first thing you have to figure out because you can have a platform that's very informative, tell you different things, but if you're looking just for entertainment and he's not entertaining, you're going to turn it off. Now you're looking for somebody. You're going to this person's platform, and you thinking, "Oh, he's going to uplift me," and he's just saying, "These black bitches." Yeah, you might don't want to go over there. That might not be the platform for you. But you're going over there, you just like dudes calling women bitches, but he said, "You black queens." You probably be turned off by it. So the main thing is going to be, what are you looking for the black male platform? What are you looking for? So once you decide that, all the other things go into place. But I'm gonna say that for another live stream. There is something that happened that it's like it's making black men look weak. It's making black men look like they can't control the penis. Now, this Glenn Cameron thing, I said some things about it, and the more I hear from about this guy, the more I'm just convinced there's some black dudes that you just can't help. They just, you know, like, man, if we had a culture where guys could go touch this person and nobody would do anything, nobody would call the cops or nothing. It's just like, well, he disappeared, or well, life goes on. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great? But we don't live in that culture. So, and even the most foul of people have fans. So it's kind of like we're kind of stuck with some of these idiots. But anyway, so Glenn and Cameron did a live stream. Okay. And the one thing he talked about, which it irritated the hell out of me. So he talking about where, at the 15, I put out ads and the 15-year-old answers, and she comes over to my house and gets in bed and take the dick. Whose phone is that? I'm like, are you serious right now? Are you fucking with me right now? Are you fucking with me right now? Well, she just came over. She taking the dick. I don't know what to do. So, essentially, what you're saying, you can't control your dick, right? Where do I begin with the unpacking this? Now, look, you place ads. I don't have a dog in that because look. If you want to place ads to get hoes or to get certain things, sexual things, it's not on my hill to die on. Hey, I buy escorts from time to time. So as far as that go, I don't have an issue. But I know who I'm not going to go after. No goddamn underage girls. Well, one, I don't put out ads, so I look up ads. But you damn sure that I'm going to look at that ad to see how old this, and she even looks underage. I'm not going. I know. So he's saying like the 15-year-old answered my ad. Okay, so the 15-year-old answered the ad. So number one, she answered the ad. Are you asking age, or location? Are you asking all these things beforehand? Because I don't think she just answered the ad and just come over to nobody's house. Okay, so you're not talking to this person. All you just say, well, hey, you answered the ad. You look, you come on through. That's a problem with you. You got a problem, bro. You ain't got no common sense. So, okay, so the girl, let's just say she asked an ad, you talked to her. You didn't ask no age. I don't know why, but let's just say you didn't. So she come knock on the door. Okay, who is it? It's me, Candy. Oh, Candy, great, man. Come on. Wait a minute. You said you were 18. You don't look 18. You got your ID with you? Oh, come on. You don't need to do that, Daddy. Look at me. Look at me. And you just go ahead and just go do it because, well, I just need this dick sucked. I need this dick rolled. So again, you're not asking nobody's age. If she don't look 18, you don't ask for age or nothing like that. You don't ask for ID or nothing. You don't nothing. You don't talk to the person. I'm like, what are we doing here? So any girl could just come up to the door. You just let her in and let her in the bedroom. I'm like, dude, how dumb does that sound? How weak does that sound as a man to say shit like this? I'm like, I can't believe a black man in this era of Me Too, in this era of R. Kelly just went to prison over shit like this. You have the audacity first came out with the idea that you were even messing with young girls. Then you say it's an experiment, and then you double down on saying, "Oh, it wasn't an experiment. I actually did this." It hurts my head, man. It hurts my fucking head to think of like this. Just like I can't believe this dude is this pathetic. And like Ty City said, shouts out to Ty City, he did thing about this. You're taking penitentiary chances just for pussy. And you have the nerve to call somebody blue pill or beta or whatever the fuck. Dude, the fact that you would risk jail time for some pussy or risk getting beat up and shit for some pussy, that makes you worse than a beta. You're just somebody who can't control their penis. And nobody respects that. Nobody. I've seen dudes in swinger clubs have more control of their penis than this dude sound like. And that's where there's sex everywhere. Women everywhere. Naked. They still have enough sense not to deal with just any old woman. This dude can't can't get out of his own way. His dick is matter of fact, I got a song for you. Jesus Christ. Look up Jonah Lucas, literally. Jonah Lucas. That's a song for Glenn and Cameron. That's a song for him. Jesus Christ. I'm just like, wow, the weakness of black men today. I get why some of the women don't respect you. And some of the women are leery of you. I would be too. I'm leery of y'all. Jesus. It's fucking embarrassing, man. It ain't that. This group, then you got Kevin Samuels up there advocating for men to be with men. I'm like, wait. Aren't you supposed to be bringing black women and black men together? Black men to be in heterosexual relationship. Now you're saying advocate for men being with men. What? What? I don't know what to. I don't know, man. I'm just flabbergasted. I don't know what the fuck. What the fuck going on in this bitch? These people out of control. Then you got Joe Budden up there saying he bi. Oh, well, I was kidding. Like, why would you even play like that? Oh man, these black celebrities, man, they're killing me. And it's trickling down to some of the dudes in the black manosphere. Uh, I just feel like, man, these people here just just embarrassing. And you wonder why some of the women act the way they do. These dudes can't control their dicks. And these women know they can't control their dicks. That's why they come at you sideways. They'll be disrespectful. They'll be rude. They be all these things. Because you can't control your dick and you just accept it. That's why these dudes are playing stepdaddy when they don't really want to be. They they'll listen to a woman talk about, yeah, I want to have a baby, and he clearly don't want to have a baby, but he'll just go with it because she's there. I need some pussy. I just feel like, man, I'm so glad I'm not in the dating market no more. I did that, got married. I did what I needed to do. I'm good. Ah, just this shit. No, I'm just good with buying escorts when I need them and keeping myself away from some of these goofballs. It don't make sense no more, man. It don't. But that is it. That is it for the podcast. Um, this video I think went way better. Shouts out to D Darrell for coming through. I much appreciated. Check out D Darrell Life Solutions. He gives a lot of advice on therapy, gives a advice on relations between black men and black women, and just a good brother. Go over there. Also, shout out to Super Mike 2164. We did a live stream about protecting black women and defining manhood. I think that went very well. I'm going I'm going to put pieces of that. I was trying to put the whole thing and restream it, but uh StreamYard only has an hour limit, so I can't really do that. So I'm gonna have to cut it up and put parts of it. So I'm going to do that as well. Also, I am going to do the live stream on choosing a black male platform to support. I'm going to do my work on that, and I will have that out soon. So, till then, a recap. Educate black women versus Jason Black. I see some of the merits of what he's talking about, but ultimately, there's two things that were missing in it. The comparisons between black men and black women, how much they're making, and ultimately, it's going to be a choice of black women, whether they feel it's worth it to find a man and be under a man. There's a risk in that, or doing the education and picking the wrong career and getting fucked up in the game. Or you can succeed. You go into business, you succeed, and all that. Everything is a risk. There's consequences either way. Black women have to choose their own adventure. That's it, pretty much it. As far as these doxers, doxing, definitely wrong. And a lot of times they're not doing it for good reasons. They're not doing it to protect people. They're not doing it to bring light to some evils. No, they're doing it for competition. They're jealous of this person. They don't like what they said, so they want to ruin people, which is foul. And people are willing to help them do it, which is even more foul. And if somebody did to them, they'd be the first ones crying and boo hooing. And I'm like, if you participate in doxing somebody, I don't feel no sympathy if something happens to you. You get what you deserve. Protect yourself, people, from these doxers. Make sure your information, your private information, is hard to find. They got to put in the work to find it. Don't make it easy. So, with that, and Clinton Cameron is an idiot and a moron, and he is an embarrassment to black men. And with that, I'm out. Thank y'all for listening. You have a good one. Peace.